ready for the fight. From the court to the field, they shine so bold. With every move, the stories unfold. We're cheering on the youth from the start to the win. Giving them the mic, let their voices begin. Interviews and highlights, we got it all. GN Sports Show, where the young stand tall. GN Sports, where the youth lead the way. Champions of tomorrow, making waves today. From ages 5 and up, we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. GN Sports Show. GN Sports Show. GN Sports Show.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome to the 6th episode of Season 2 of the GN Sports Show. My name is Jonathan Thorogood, the Administrative Assistant at GN Sports Global. Along with me is Mr. Jason Cordis, the President of the GNFC Parents Association, the CGPGA, and we're your hosts of the GN Sports Show.
Welcome, guys. We're here again. You know, every week is a pack week. This week we have Dr. Rick Millis, as usual. We have the Supernova Athletic Club. We have the Cycling Federation as well. We have two of the GNFC Rebels top girls who can explain to us how they're involved in so many different things and still keep a balance. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to the GN Sports Show.
Our vision is to become the premier platform for showcasing and empowering young student athletes, providing them with the tools and exposure to excel both in sports and life, while shaping the next generation of confident, media-savvy leaders. The GN Sports Show is dedicated to highlighting the talent and stories of young student athletes across all sports disciplines. We aim to equip them with vital media exposure and public speaking skills, helping them grow into confident individuals both on and off the field. Through engaging interviews, mentorship, and real-world media experiences, we strive to foster personal and professional development that supports their athletic journeys. And welcome back to the GN Sports Show. As we promised before the break, we have two GNFC under 13 players, Kavita Cordis and Jadine Carter. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Of course. So before we get into any of the questions we have here, we're going to ask each one of you one simple question. This should give a little bit of description about yourself, yeah? So Kavita, give us a little bit of description about who Kavita Cordis is.
Okay, so I'm 14 years old. I'm the youngest DJ on the island. I love to play football. I'm a pan player. I love music. I love to draw. I love art. You know, that's just me. Top in school.
Nice. Jack of all trades.
And daughter of a super father.
Yeah.
I get that.
What were you, Jadine?
My name is Jadine Carter. I'm 14 years old. I go to St. Anthony's. I sing, dance, play pan, do music in general. Like I play piano as well. And most importantly, I play football.
Of course.
Yeah.
And second importantly, a daughter of a super father.
Okay.
Mom to you. But you know what? Every time we have footballers here with us, and even other athletes we always ask them, how do you guys balance? How you guys balance schoolwork with your extracurricular activity, which most of the time it's just track or cycling or football and so forth. You girls, however, it's different, right? Kavita, you know what I mean? You play with the national football team, you play with the Women's Premier League team, you play with Gen X, you play with your school league, you're the youngest DJ on the island, you play pan, like there's a lot, plus your principal's list, so there's a lot that you do. How do you manage all of these things?
So I balance my time by prioritizing all my commitments. You know, so school is most important. So I would make sure to get all my studies done first, you know. And then football would be another major priority. So everything for football, I'll have to work around it, training and everything. And then school and pan comes after, you know. So pan and everything.
What about you, Jadine?
So I'm accustomed since I'm small to be doing a lot of things. So it comes easier to me when balancing my education with things. Like I take most of my breaks in school and stuff. I use that to do as much work as I can before I go and do any after school activities or on the weekends and stuff. I try to get everything done at school so that I have more time to do other things. So I'm not always just focused on school at all hours of the day.
Right.
What do you see yourself doing, and what do you envision yourself doing after school? Like when, not after school, like in the evening, but when you finish with your schooling and your education, what do you think you would like to do in your life as you grow up?
Well, firstly, I'm from Antigua, so I want to firstly give back to where I'm from. So I want to be a dermatologist or a cosmetologist when I grow up. Like, I'm not sure completely if I will be still doing football, but I love football right now, so I'm still going to continue doing that until whenever. But I want to study cosmetology mostly because I'm just a big fan of that. You know?
Well, I could give you some advice, right? Because if people think, a lot of times girls might not want to get into football because they think it's a boy sport and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a cosmetologist and stuff, you could make these girls, show them how you could prettify yourself while being a footballer.
Yeah, of
So you
course.
could be that footballer that helps them look pretty on and off the pitch.
Of course.
You know what I mean? You got to pay me for that advice. Yeah? What about you, Kavita?
Well, the goal is to be top DJ in the Caribbean, as a female too. I want to be a professional footballer, live at Chelsea,
Nice.
favorite club, so yeah.
Chelsea kind of like number 14 or something. So I don't know. Maybe if you go Liverpool or something like that. But,
It'll be a little easier. So, as you could say, both of y'all play for Generation Next. You play in the under 13 age division. What positions do both of you play? Let's start off with Jadine. What position?
Well, I play right back. I started when I played for school league. I started with striker, but I slowly gravitated to the defense because I just like playing defense.
Right.
Yeah.
You just like banging people off.
Yeah.
I see excitement when you're doing that. So that's why. You don't even like defense.
What about you, Kavita?
Well, it all depends on which team I'm playing with. So if I'm playing with Gen X, it would be midfield or centre back. And if I'm playing with national team, it would be midfield. And Women's Premier League, wing.
Wings. You play multiple positions depending on what team you play with. Wow.
But what do you think is your favorite position?
Midfield.
Midfield.
Why is that?
Well, you get to be offensive, you get to play offensive and defensive at the same time. So
Yeah.
Okay.
All around there.
So what school you guys go to? What school you go to, JD?
I go to St. Anthony Secondary School.
Really?
St. Anthony Secondary School.
You say that like I'm supposed to know, like you're my daughter or something. You know what I mean? What form? What grade? What form you guys in?
Third form.
Form 3.
Okay. Well, hey, something we always ask the younger ones. I'm gonna ask you all because y'all ain't too young, all ain't too old for this. You have a favorite teacher? Listen up, teachers.
Trying to get me enemies.
You have a favorite teacher?
No, I have a favorite teacher.
No,
Okay,
no,
Miss Ben. I would say Miss Ben, my art teacher.
Your art teacher, Jadine.
So, I love Miss Ben and Miss Robinson,
Yeah, Miss Robinson.
and I like Miss Walker. And,
Jadine smart. Jadine studying.
I like
Jadine studying the grades. I get last test. Let me see who I need
Miss
to butter.
Roland, I
You
like,
like all the teachers.
I like the teachers. There's some teachers that I relate to more, but
Right.
I like all my teachers.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
And what about football now? You must have a favorite team. You love football so much. You must have a favorite team.
Chelsea and Real Madrid. Best
Chelsea
teams in the
and
world.
Real Madrid.
Chelsea and Real Madrid.
I could see her little brother watching this episode and saying, "Girl, why you say Chelsea? Why you say Chelsea?" Because they're always going back and forth.
course.
Jadine. Come on, Jadine. No, hold on. Let me don't put Jadine in the spot.
Right.
Remember, your favorite football team does not have to be an international football team.
Correct.
It could be local. Your favorite player could be a local player, international player. So don't feel a need to have an international player unless I force you to say an international. John and I might say.
You have to.
Okay, I don't really have a favorite football team. Like, just watching football
Sass Pink
excites me. The undefeated. Anyways. But watching football just excites me. Like, I like all kinds of players. It just, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite team, but I just like to watch a good game of football.
Enjoy
What
watching
about your
sport.
favorite player?
My favorite player, well, I like Messi. Yeah, I like Messi, and my second favorite player is my cousin Chiari, you know?
Oh.
You're putting in a plug for Kiari there.
Yeah.
That is a family business there. What about you, Kev?
Okay, so the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo,
Yeah.
Nice answer.
Pepe, and Cole Palmer, and locally, maybe Quentin Griffith or my coach, Sawa.
Coach Sawa, you hear that? Coach Sawa, I know you're watching.
Good. Sawa.
Bigging you up. She
Make
bigging you
sure
up.
and let Kavita start because she big you up on GN Sports Show. You know, but I've known you guys for a very long time. Kavita, I think I might have known you the longest. Maybe like about 14 going on 15 years. I'm not quite sure, but I think I might know you the longest. But I've known you guys from before Jadine, before you was into football. I know you, and you've grown immensely from that. Not only football, and all the things that you pursue as well. I am very proud of you for the way that you have maneuvered all these different things that you have been doing, and you're a very lovely young lady. You know, you're very respectful sometimes to me, but you know, no. There's a lot I can say about you, Jadine, and I'm very proud of you on behalf of me and your parents. Kavita. I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. From since I've known you till now, you have evolved and constantly evolving. I don't know. I think you probably got it from your father. I'm not quite sure. But no, you do a lot. You do a lot, and it's very admirable the way you prioritize and the way you put stuff into place.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kids that we have on the show, and they always. Some of them have a difficulty, you know, like, school sometimes get difficult because you can't really, you still have tests, even though you have training.
Yes.
And it's hard to have the training and then go home late at night and then have to study for test tomorrow. And, me being in that household where I've seen you put in the work and late and wake up early. And I really, really admire you. I have never done that. And you always, as a parent, you want the kids to be better.
Of course.
I am one of those.
Yes.
And I really admire your efforts and stuff like that. Jadine, I know you, I don't live in your house, but I know you must do it because you are involved in a lot of stuff as well.
Yes.
And we're really happy to have you guys as part of the GNC Rebels.
Yep.
Right? Because, we want the best. And you know what I mean? The only way we could be the best is to have the best with us.
Of course.
So, girls, thank you so much for being here. Keep doing what you're doing. And one more thing that I've heard about these girls, they are also, beside everything, they are also on the school committee. Right? What is it called? The
Student council.
The student council. They just had voting and everything, and they had their whole campaigning. And Jadine, you are what?
I'm PRO, Public Relations Officer.
Public Relations Officer.
Yes.
And
Upper school form rep.
Upper school form rep.
So big
these
positions.
Girls, there's more and more. Everything.
Yeah.
And you know what I always tell people? I always tell everyone, right? The more things you do, the more confident you get, is the more things you would feel that you can embark upon. Because everything gives you a certain level of confidence. And sometimes you feel you can get it in one thing, but then another thing might open up a little doorway and you feel, you know what? I've gotten a little bit more confident, and you could now take on different things, wear different hats. These girls wear many hats. Many. And we're proud of them. Yep. And we're proud of you guys who want to be aspiring like them and want to do more. So guys, thank you so much for being here on the GN Sports Show.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, and we're going to keep looking out for you all and keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
All right?
Thank you for having us.
Of
You're
course.
welcome.
Welcome to the ACB Caribbean Youth Football League wrap-up. The league is also sponsored by the Citizenship by Investment Unit, Brydens, and Milo. These are the point standings for the most recent matches.
And welcome back, guys, to the GN Sports Show. As mentioned before, we have some superstars from the Supernova Athletic Club. We have Camila Choi, and we have Alima Rainey. Guys, welcome to the GN Sports Show.
Welcome. So, Camille, we'll start off with you. Before we get into the questions, just give us a brief description about yourself. What do you like to do?
Well, in my spare time, I just generally like to play sports. That's one of my hobbies. I just play all different types of sports.
Nice.
What about you, Alima?
In my spare time, I like to read and I like to dance and things like that.
Oh, very
nice.
good, very good.
So, Camila, before we started the interview, you told us you do track. You do 100 meter, 200, and 300, correct?
Yes.
So, at just 10 years old, you know, you've already won national titles in the 100 meter and 200 meter. What do you enjoy most about sprinting, and what motivates you to keep improving?
What motivates me is I just want to make it big someday. That's what motivates me. I want to go to the Olympics, and I want to fulfill that dream. So that's what motivates me.
Nice. Get to that next level, yeah.
Yeah, and you, Alima, you have a very impressive sprinting career so far, winning the under 15 national 100 meter title in 2022. You know what I mean, and earning the silver in the under 17 100 in 2023. So, has your training evolved as you moved up in the competition?
I would like to think it has evolved, yeah.
How so? Like, how has it changed from when you first in 2022 to 2023? How has it changed? Like, has it become more intense? Has it become more
Definitely,
relaxed?
yeah. It has become more intense, like the competition and everything. It gets harder, and especially the training gets much harder.
Okay.
So, Camila, you know, you've shown great versatility by competing in both sprints and jumping, right? How do you balance training for the different events, and do you have a favorite?
Yes, I have a favorite. I actually like doing the jump more. We don't really do it that much, but I enjoy doing it whenever we get a chance to.
Right.
Okay. So, you know, competing at a high level as a young athlete, it requires both, you know, physical and mental strength. How do you stay motivated?
Well, I stay motivated by my mom encourages me to stay motivated, my coach, my principal, and, you know, just seeing like people that do track and field, see how far they have gone with track and field. That motivates me because my goal is to go to Carifta, compete in the Olympics, and seeing people achieve their goals, it encourages me to do better in my track.
And to hit Olympics and bring them a gold medal for Antigua and Barbuda.
Of course. So, Camila, you know, you went to the Nevis Culturama Games and you won some medals over there as well. It shows that you can perform well in big competitions. How do you feel competing on that stage, and what do you learn from the experience?
I learned that there's other athletes out there who also train very hard, so I also have to train hard like them, and I don't feel nervous because I practice them almost daily, so it's not really nerve-wracking for me.
Right. It's become natural to you now because you practice every day, right? Yes.
So, Alima, you know, we mentioned that you were in the under 15, you won with the under 15, you won with the under 17. So now that you're going to be approaching the entrance of the under 20 category, right? That's a bigger step, a bigger jump. You know, what are your goals for that? You know, what are your goals for entering there for the upcoming season, and how do you prepare yourself, your mind, to compete against these older and somewhat might be more advanced athletes?
Well, I prepare myself by getting into the mindset that I can accomplish anything I put my mind to, and you know, my goals is to get a personal best in each of my races.
And just believe you can, like, because you've been doing good so far. You've been hitting the under 15, under 17 out of the park. So under 20 is just breeze. You know, once you think you can do it, you're going to do it. Trust me, I believe in you guys, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Once you set your mind to it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to both of you, you know, we really appreciate you taking the time out to be on the GN Sports Show with us. Continue training hard. I don't know if you guys have any international competitions coming up anytime soon, but you know, we wish you all the best in the future endeavors.
Thank you.
Yep. So thanks a lot, and we're going to keep looking out for you, supernovas, superstars of supernovas. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. You know, I know everybody is going to be looking at you guys and see how you progress as you go along. Guys, when we come back, as we said, we'll take a short break and we're going to get back with the coaches that guide these young ladies here to success and stardom. All right. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more GN Sports Show. And welcome back, guys. As we said, we now have the coaches for the Superstars from the Supernova Athletic Club. We have the assistant coach, Miss Anika Jean-Baptiste, and we have the head coach, manager, founder, the everything for Supernova, Mr. Jamil Nelson. Guys, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Right, so Anika, looking back at the 2005 Carifta Games, where you won, was it double gold? Yes. What do you remember most about that experience, and how did it shape your career?
What I remember most was when I finished running the 100, to be exact, the 100 meter. I had the worst shin splints ever.
Wow.
And no matter what, I meant I was going to run, and I meant I was going to win. And after the race, I just remember my foot just in serious pain, but I couldn't even celebrate.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't celebrate. But it was a moment that I could not forget, though, because the year before I came, I think, third or fourth, and when I went back to training, I meant that I was going to win this year. That was my year, and I was going to win.
Very good, man. Very good. Jamil, you know how to come on. Listen to this. From transitioning from a super athlete to a national coach. How has that, how was that transition? And how has it shaped your coaching philosophy?
Well, let me correct you. Transition from a super athlete to a super coach. So it came naturally.
Awesome stuff.
Super coach, super athlete.
Awesome
I stand
stuff.
corrected. Is a supernovas we're dealing with.
Okay.
Yeah, it came naturally. Ever since I was an athlete, I knew from since then I wanted to be a coach.
Right.
So I was the type of athlete that I didn't just go and coach gave us a workout. Both of us used to be training partners as well.
Wow.
Yes,
So
we
we
had
didn't
the
just-
same coach.
And we Wings Sports Club, so I have to big up Wings too. But I didn't just go to training and coach said we're doing this, and I just went and did it and didn't ask a question about it. I had to know what I'm doing and the reason I'm doing it.
Of course.
One of the things that sets a great coach apart from another, because you have to know why, so then you know why, how is it implemented, why is it implemented,
Right.
and stuff like that. A lot of times you just, hey, do this, and you just run with it. But because you said that, that's I guess that's what makes you a super coach, man.
Yes.
So, Anika, we were speaking a little bit about it with the question before. You said that you had placed fourth the year before. I guess this would be in the 2005 World Youth Championship.
No, that would have been 2004 Carifta Games.
Okay.
So that's the year before.
So the year before.
Yeah, it was like I was the young one with the older ones.
Right.
So then the next year, I got up in age,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, no, this is my time.
Right.
Yeah.
So you competed in the 2005 World Youth Championships.
Yes.
And competing against the best young sprinters, which would have been globally, right?
Yes.
What lessons did you take from that competition?
What I took from that competition was just knowing that you're doing this, and you're doing this not just for yourself, for your coach, for your country, for your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother. Everybody was rooting for me at that time, and so I just try and put my best foot forward. It was a bit, like a eye-opener as well, because that was my first international meet where I saw countries that we would only talk about,
Right.
and we actually went to a country that we would only talk about, because we went to Morocco. So it was an eye-opener, and it molded me to push to get out there to go other places.
Correct, right.
Yeah.
And obviously after that, you ended up going to the Carifta Games and winning the double gold.
No, that was the Carifta Games was before that, and then I went to the World
you went to
Youth.
the-
So that
okay.
is the same year, but Carifta is always early.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, understood.
But you
It's in
mashed
the
it up
Easter
anyhow,
time.
it is.
I mashed it up
You mashed it
anyhow.
up.
anyhow.
So Jamil, as said before, the founder of Supernova Sports Club an athletic club. What is your vision for developing young athletes, right? And how do you help them achieve, successes over the national and international levels?
Well, one of my main models and motivations for doing this is knowing where I came from and what I got out of the sport. I also went to college. I didn't go to World Youth like Anika. I would have qualified, but we in 2001 we didn't get to go. But getting an education out of it, and that's one of my main motivations, my main focus for all these athletes, the young athletes. Everybody's not going to be a world beater. Everybody's not going to be an Olympic medalist.
Yep.
But everybody can definitely get a scholarship.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Anika, you won multiple NAIA national titles, which is obviously a huge achievement. What were the biggest challenges you faced transitioning from junior to collegiate competition?
The biggest challenges were the atmosphere. You have a big change in between Antigua weather, going to Miami weather, and then going over to Ohio weather. So it's a big difference in between there. And then we had nationals both in Ohio for the indoor and the outdoor. So I won indoor as well as the outdoor.
Congratulations.
Yes. Those were my years where, the only challenge was the weather indeed, but I had some injuries as well. I was one of the athletes that was very tough, So I have an injury. I still try to run through it. I don't have it in my mind when I'm on the track until I stop past that finish line, and then you see me just fall out and they have to pick me up. But I know I did what I was supposed to do,
Yes.
So that was the challenge I had.
Transition. Yeah.
So, Jamil, as I said, I can't even get rid of your accolade business. But, having coached, in both the Tokyo 2020 and the Paris 2024 Olympics, right? What are some of the biggest challenges and successes that you have accomplished, or felt on this big world stage?
Well, I can start with the successes. The reason I was the coach for those two Olympic Games was because of the first Supernova athlete, athlete signed to Supernova, who was Joella Lloyd, the current national record holder. And see, she broke Anika's records too, so that's even better.
Wow.
That's even better.
It's in the family.
At the junior and senior level, she just broke the national indoor record in the 60 meters and qualified for the World Indoor Championships.
Wow,
Should be coming up
that's
in
amazing.
March. So that's the highlight, the success highlight for me.
Yeah.
Being Joella's coach from since she was 8 years old, and transitioned right up until she left to go to college at 18, and we still have that relationship. We still speak every day. Up to today, we were finalizing plans for her to travel over to China for the World Indoors. In challenges, Antigua is a small team. We maybe have like the qualifiers, two in track and field. The maximum team of athletes, about 8 maximum. When we went to Paris, it was actually just about 5 athletes. Compared to other countries with hundreds.
And these are qualified athletes.
Yeah. Different sports as well. So they would have gotten to the venue like 2-3 weeks before having a training camp and all that. We don't really have that privilege. We also don't have a privilege of, we can get more qualifiers even on the relay team, but with the limited resources that we have locally, most of our athletes are based overseas, and it becomes a challenge trying to get them together to even run at a meet. You have athletes, they run it for their colleges,
Right.
and of course the college commitments would come first. That's basically the daily bread. And then we have some in professional setups in Jamaica and other places, but just to try to get them together, that's one of the major challenges.
Because one of the things I was going to ask when you said that is it because these other countries, you have such a wide number of people who are coming in and trying to in these clubs, you have tons of people in all these different clubs, so you have a higher rate of qualifiers, and there's not a lot of Antiguans who are saying, you know what, I want to do this track and field professionally. Probably some of them just go because let me do track and field because I don't want to do football or basketball or whatever. But are there a high number that wants to do it professionally?
No, I wouldn't say there's a high number, and it gets even more difficult after the junior level. We have a lot of athletes at the junior level, they excel, but for some, if they don't go after college, then that's usually the end of the career.
Wow. So what do you think could happen though? What do you think could happen to help motivate them, to push further? Because to me, this is just to me, when you go to college, you see it's more advanced now and a lot more. It's like you may not see it here in Antigua how big track and field is, but when you go to college, especially overseas, it's a big deal. Right?
And in the colleges too, it's a very big deal.
Yeah, it's a very big deal. So how does the motivation stop when you're in a pool where it's so vast now and everybody is about it, and decide, well, you know what, I don't want to? Is it a confidence thing?
Well, to be honest, I think right now we're on the right track with firstly the amount of athletes that we have in college, and they actually are performing pretty well. So we're hoping that can be used as a platform for other athletes like Alima and Kimmy coming up. The younger athletes can see that it's easier for them to relate to athletes that they have seen training on the track. I mean, I can come back, Anika can come back, we can speak of our college experience, but sometimes seeing is believing. They've never seen us compete.
Right.
We just give stories, but they've never seen us in action. But the athletes that they see in action daily, that's something that they can look forward to. That can be their motivation, knowing that, okay, I see this person training every day, I'm training too. I see what they do. I see what they do in competition, and they're in college doing this, that, I can do it too.
One of the questions I think we didn't ask, and we keep hearing you all say it over and over, college, when you go off to college.
Yes.
I'm sure everybody wants to know, can you get scholarships in track and field while being track and field? Like, can you get scholarships to go to college?
Yes, that's what I got.
Definitely. We both got scholarships.
So parents, we always want that, right? We want our kids to be in sports so that they could advance and get scholarships to help us spend less money and go to school and get a better education, get more culture and so forth. So athletics is one of them. Track and field is one other outlet that you can use.
And it's much easier in track and field
than it is
individual sport.
Wow.
It's simple. Numbers don't lie. So as long as you run fast, you jump high, you throw far, the scholarships.
And no, it's even wider too, because you go to simple meets like Carifta, you get exposed because there's scouts out there now looking for looking for people that
games like Carifta.
Wow,
they will come down to recruit. And a lot of the athletes we would gotten recruited at Carifta as well.
Right. So, Anika, I know Jamil was speaking a little bit about it before, that you were once the national junior record holder in both the 100 meter and 200 meter, but you said that Joel has the record now, which is on the athlete.
Yes.
What did the accomplishment mean to you, and do you still follow the progress of the young sprinters from your country?
Well, what it meant to me is, because you know what's so funny? I did not actually know that I had the record.
Really?
When I ran in Africa, I know I ran fast. I know I had a good time, but I did not know that was the national record until maybe a year or so after. Wow. So this is something that we're now trying to make sure that persons are aware. When you actually run on the track anywhere, it doesn't even have to be in Antigua, and you run a specific time, we can say, hey, you just broke the record.
Right. Yeah.
Because I don't even know what to say that it meant to me,
Right.
Because at the moment I didn't know. But
And do you still follow the progress of the young sprinters?
Yes,
from the country?
I do. And this is why I got involved in track. I never really thought that I would be a coach, to be honest. To be honest, my coach and Nelson, they bugged me. Just come and you will see. Just come. So I did, and I brought my daughter along with me. My daughter is only 7, but she has seen videos of her mom.
Yeah.
things like when I used to just do my little training at Cedar Valley just to keep fit.
Right.
And she would be with me. So from there, she said, "Oh, I want to do track." So I'm like, "Okay, let's go."
But that's good, you know what I mean? And the fact is that they saw something in you.
Exactly.
That was super. You know what I mean?
Supernova,
That was
right?
supernova.
And of course, she hears all the stories about her mom too. So.
About who?
About her mom.
Her mom?
No, her daughter.
Oh, her daughter,
She
yes. So
has
your
to-
daughter.
But
has
my
to do
mom
something.
used to run too. My
Yeah.
mom and my dad were track stars for Dominica as well.
Wow.
I have 2 sisters and a brother. I am the youngest for my mom and my dad, and my older sister was a track star in Dominica, and my brother used to run as well.
So it's a DNA
And then
thing.
it was me and my sister, the one that is just above me, was the track people for here, for Antigua.
Oh, my goodness.
She just ran the 400 and the 2, and she was older than me, of course, so I ran the 1 and the 2.
What?
That's amazing.
So Mr. Founder, head coach, manager of Supernova.
Yeah, my father was a track
Right?
star too.
Adding
That's
to
the
that.
question.
No. Adding to that, because I already said I need a whole list. I need the credits to go up with all of Jamil's accolades, because
Yes.
he's also the head coach for the Special Olympics for Antigua and Barbuda.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
The man don't stop. The man don't stop. He could be. But how does that appointment, make you feel? How does it make you feel? And what do you think? How you're gonna make an impact with that new title?
I can tell you my journey with Special Olympics started in 2018. I can be honest, when I was approached about being a coach, helping out the program, I was quite reluctant. Naturally I was thinking, well, Special Olympics, okay, it's going to be children in wheelchair, and
Right,
how
right.
am I going to deal? I'm not sure how I can deal with it.
Right.
But I was coerced to just, try it out. And when I went to training the first day and I saw the children, I thought I was in the wrong place, because I figured, okay, especially, but everybody here looked quite normal.
Right.
And getting to interact with them. We traveled to Dubai, the World Games in 2019, and again in 2023 to Berlin with the same group. They were young, like 16, 15 back then, but when we went to Berlin, they were much grown, and I've seen the improvements with them among the years, especially even in confidence. There's one guy, Darius, one athlete, like my son, call me his daddy. And I know you guys are into football, but I can tell you, if you want stats, I doubt you can know more stats than this guy.
So what make you think we're into football? Is it my athletic stature that make you feel?
Oh, maybe the football.
So let me ask you something. Let's backtrack a little bit, because I threw it out there for parents to understand that you could get scholarships and stuff from track and field. Explain to us explain to them what are the pathways that leads to scholarships and stuff like that. What are the pathways? How do you get a scholarship? How do you what you have to put out there? You know what I mean?
Well, first and foremost, I need them to understand that school is very important, because you cannot get a scholarship just because you're good in track or you're good in football.
Right.
You have to have that education with it.
Yeah.
It may not be A+, but at least you need to have a proper education with your talent. Because when I went to university, I was not a C student. Right? And I came out even more, well-rounded when I left, because I was on the honor roll and everything like that.
Right.
With track.
That is good. That is true.
It's a lot that goes on when you're at university level. You have schoolwork, you have track morning and night.
Right.
So they need to be more disciplined in your schoolwork as well as your sport.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jamie wants to.
And yes, to add to that, you also need a lot of guidance, collaboration with parents and schools. I am a teacher as well, PE teacher at St. John's Catholic. And
Viewers, Few words. This man Jamil. I think we need a show just for Jamil now, because so many hats. I just don't know. It's a hat store over here.
Yes.
He's a teacher now, as well, a PE teacher. And before he go on, he's going to explain. But before he goes on, everything he says seems like it's music to your ear. You know why? Because he's a DJ too.
Oh, yes.
The man is a DJ. Together with all of this, the man is a DJ. Listen to me. You gotta get a show just for Jamil so he can come and explain all the things he does and all the things that he does to contribute to the upliftment of Antigua sports and Antigua.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
So you're a teacher.
Yes, and PE and IT. And, let me just state that our school just won its 12th Zone 2 championships.
Wow.
Very nice.
We won 10 in a row. We won one before that. We won 10 in a row. And we took a break, to give another school a chance last year.
That was so chivalrous of you guys.
we just gave another school a chance. So
Yeah.
we took the second place last year, but we went back for our championships this year.
Nice.
But one of the things that I always have issues with my coworkers for, and especially with PE, and they use PE as a punishment or motivation for the students. If you don't finish your work, you can't go to PE. So I always get into it with them for that, because at the end of the day, you're not going to tell them if they didn't finish the math that they can't go to computer.
Yeah.
So why use PE as it's not playtime, it's a class.
Yeah.
That's why it's called physical education.
Education, yeah.
So I usually get into it with my co-workers for that, and I think by now they understand they can't use not going to PE as a punishment.
Yeah.
So, all that is saying that to say it's important with sports, with education, and also with time management.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, our just a quick note, our leader, our fearless leader, Mr. Santos. He's always told parents, sometimes you wouldn't see a kid that comes every training, you wouldn't see him and say, hey, what happened to Jamil? Oh, well, he given trouble in school, so we decided no football. And he said, why would you stop football?
Yeah.
This is physical activity that helps grow their mind, that helps discipline, help them bond and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Stop TV, stop games, stop phone, but don't stop
That's it.
active stuff.
That's
So
it.
as you're saying, PE, you can't stop the PE.
And to tell you this much, sometimes teachers will encourage them to stop. Or it's falling the grades, maybe it's the sport.
Yeah.
But the other students who aren't doing any sports, who aren't doing anything,
Still falling the grades.
falling the grades. So what you're stopping them from?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just before we finish up, a question to both of you. If you could give one piece of advice to young athletes striving for success in track and field, what would it be?
My advice to them would be whichever sport that you choose, do it to the best of your ability, and do it because you know you want to do it and you want to make your family, your country, everybody proud. Not just do it because, oh, mommy says so. No, do it to your best of your ability.
And I can.
What about you, Renaissance man?
I can peg on to that because for me, it's doing it and loving it. I always said I prefer to train an athlete with little talent but plenty will and determination than an athlete with all the talent but no drive.
Yeah.
You know the old saying, right? You do something you love, you never work a day, you never work.
Never have
You know
to
what I mean?
work a day
'Cause
in
it's
your life.
fun. It's
Yeah.
fun. You get up. You have to have a reason to wake up every day.
Yep.
Right.
And, let progression and evolution be that reason. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Well, you know what I mean? Guys,
Really appreciate it.
thank you so much for being here. Anika, I want to thank you so much for being here. But oh my gosh, Mr. Nelson, I just don't know.
Mr. Accolade,
Mr.
right?
Nelson, I can't even call him again. Mr. Nelson, so much accolades.
Yes.
Guys, I will have his accolades. The rest of them coming up on
But
the screen later.
this is why we cherish him and we
Yeah.
give him his flowers, because he has always been my big brother.
Yeah.
Right? And to come back from university and know that he went to university and our universities was like
Right
this
here.
far.
Neighboring
right?
universities too.
So to come back home and see my brother doing all these things, I am very, very proud of him. Very proud of him. And I think maybe that's why I end up getting thrown in there and just decide, okay, you know what, hey, my brother leading me, let me just follow.
I beg.
Well, guys, as we said, it's been a pleasure having you guys here. This has been a very insightful and, exciting track and field interview. But don't worry, we're not running away. We'll be right back with more GN Sports Show. Okay, and as you mentioned, we're here with the Antigua and Barbuda Cycling Federation. We have the president, Derek Sutherland, and one of his top cyclists, Janelle Warner. Top cyclist. Come on, guys, welcome to the GN Sports Show.
Welcome to the GN Sports Show.
Thank you for having us. I'm actually the vice president. I would love to be the president, but I'm the vice president today. And today we've got with us Janelle. I'm not going to spoil it by telling her story. I think it's only right that Janelle should be the one to talk about how long she's been around cycling and why she put her event on.
Janelle, you're on the spot.
So Janelle, give us a little brief description of who Janelle Warner is.
Well, I'm a humble girl from Antigua, born and raised in the village of Potters. I went to the Clare Secondary School, then I went to Jamaica School of Cosmetology. I have a lot of hats that I could wear, but today I'm here to wear my cycling hat. And about 12 years ago, there's a gentleman by the name of Andre Simon who introduced me to cycling, and as the discussion earlier, I met him while I was modeling. And then from coming there, I got a bike from Ayre Fabian, better known as Bike Man. And then I been riding, just riding for health purposes. I think I took part in like 2 races or 3. But then on a fun ride, we had a fun ride for medical benefit, and while riding up a hill, the chain plate broke and it slipped in my feet.
Wow.
So then I couldn't ride anymore. And I think I was out from cycling for like a couple of years, and then I went back into it by being marshalling of some of the races, helping along. And I think 5 years ago, I approached the president and I told him that I would like to sponsor a race in my name. And then he said, sure, no problem. I think he was like skeptical about it, because I remember I remember Andre told me that he called him asking him what the type of person I am and stuff like that. And then so it started, and then now it continues to this year being my 5th year.
Wow.
So when you realized that you could no longer participate because of your injury and stuff like that in cycling as a rider, what motivated you to stay within the sport?
Well, you say when you love something, you have to see it strive. And, in athletics, in sports, that I think the government don't really focus much on cycling. So then our races that we have in cycling, I'm saying our because I'm a part of the federation and it's me, that we don't have much sponsors for the races, so I decided to throw my hat in the ring and sponsor one of the races.
Wow, big move, Janelle.
Yeah. So speaking about it, you are sponsoring a race, which is a big step. What inspired you to take on that role?
Well, as I say, to keep the sport alive and to help push the sport that I love.
And just to put a little bit meat on the bone, one of the things that we encourage our clubs to do, and people like Janelle that love the sport, is to own a race. Because the more people that own the races, the better the attendance will be at each and every event. Because people are going to be coming out because it's Janelle's race.
Right.
So we always know that if Janelle's putting a race on, every other cyclist in Antigua is going to be coming out for her event. And if we want to talk about some of the events that she did prior to the one that we're having this weekend, she always used to do a circuit race. And the circuit races are some of the fastest races that we have in Antigua. And we always get around the Pan Am Base circuit, and everybody would come out for that. So when Janelle approached me at the end of last season and she says, Derek, would it be possible for me to actually do the first race of the season? I was like, yeah. It's a no-brainer.
Right.
You know, you want to have, especially for the start of the season, you want to have the best sponsors that you've got at that first race,
Yep.
because you know that the attendance is going to be high. And what we did last season with this particular race was we made it a short race. Now, 20 miles may not sound like a short race to you guys, but a 20-mile race for us is very, very short. It's very, very fast, very, very snappy. So we know that we have a lot of guys that ride that circuit to Willie Keys every week. So they're going to want to come out because in our group chat, there's a lot of chat. Yeah, everybody a big man, everybody going to take the crown. So because of that, we know that this is going to be a great event.
But let me ask you something. As you mentioned, can I have a race? And you're encouraging people to do that. What is the criteria to have a race, have your race?
Our criteria is a willingness to work with the federation, because yes, it is your race, but we're going to be there supporting you. And you going out and looking for the sponsors for the race.
Okay, so if you're a company, and you want to have a race, all right, so you're not looking for a sponsor anymore. You're going to sponsor it. You're financially going to take care of it. How do they approach you and say, listen, Derek, I want to have my company's race. I want this next race to be a race on, sponsored by my company.
In fact, Antigua and Barbuda Workers Union, we have that on our calendar. And I'll give you the first time we did a race for them, they wanted a race that was going to be 50 miles long. So we just said, yep, no problem. If you're going to be the sponsor, our responsibility will be to do what we're doing today, where we'll be talking about your business. We will make sure that the riders are there. What we also did for them, because they wanted it to be an invitational event, we will contact all the islands so that their riders will come over. And the other winning benefit for you is because all the other riders are here from other islands, we will then stream it live so that we'll have 8, 9, 10 different countries watching this event with your banner in front for everybody to see.
What is the average, just, I know we can't go into depth of it, but what is the average cost would this take for the investor of their race?
Between $4,000 and $5,000, not that much.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
You're ready?
I think we could probably give him a Santos.
Perfect. So what type of age categories would you have for this race? Can it be from young to old? Can it be from children from 10 to 50? What's the age?
Any age.
Any age.
I think we have categories. I'm trying to look for the categories. I think you have masters, you have elites, you have females, you have cadets, which is I think is from 11 to 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have the junior males and stuff. They have other categories, but then we don't have the cyclists to do it. And I think just to put a little hat on my head, recently I was given the opportunity from the Antigua and Barbuda Cycle Federation to do a coaching for the level 1 cycling. So right now I think I pass in the 90s. I am a certified coach for cycling now. And then I think one of the initiatives that the federations and them are doing, well, Cycling Federation, is going out to the schools, and I think I'm going to be a part of it tremendously to try to introduce cycling to the schools and maybe to pull more youngsters in.
Yes.
So then maybe in the future, I'm not saying it's going to happen, Mr. Sutherland,
It's going to happen.
I might start a club with some of and focus more on the females and bringing more females into the federation and into the cycling, and maybe train them to be better competitive cyclists.
Yeah.
Well, now you have the accolade to do it. Now you're a big coach now. So
not really big. I have more levels to
you're
go.
a big coach. You're a big first timer coach.
Yeah.
So How does someone who is interested in cycling or an interested cyclist register for this event?
To be, from my knowledge, the federation, if you're not a member, I think you pay $50.
Just $50. Yeah.
And then if you're a member of the federation, you could pay $20. Now, however, if you want to be a cyclist for the event, maybe, or future events, you could maybe attach to a club and then come in, or you can come as a non-club member and then cycle.
Okay.
So it's this Sunday
Sunday
at
Panam Base.
Panam Base, starting
to
at
Willie Keys.
9 o'clock sharp.
9 o'clock sharp.
9 o'clock sharp.
So this Sunday, Panam Base, 9 o'clock sharp. Go onto the website and Facebook of the Antigua and Barbuda Cycling Federation.
Yeah.
Register, be a part of it, come out and support.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
All right?
Thank you.
And we look forward to a very good turnout on Sunday.
Oh, we will. I have no doubt.
Of course. Thanks again and all the best.
All right,
All the best.
thank you.
So we'll be right back.
We would like to thank the sponsors of Generation Next, Fruta, Antigua Masonry Products, Kenneth A. Gomez Insurance Agency, Island Photo, and Francis Trading Agency.
And welcome back, guys. And we're now back at one of the most exciting parts of the GN Sports Show, one of the highlights, the moment of Dr. Rick.
Oh,
Dr.
wow.
Rick, welcome in the house.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Always
I
good
missed
to
you
have you.
last week. I heard you had some sort of combine. What's that about?
Yes, a combine. What we do is we invite a lot of coaches from overseas and scouts from overseas. So they come here, and then we invite a lot of potential players
Got it.
come from all over the world. Sometimes they will come and they would try out in front of these coaches in hopes of getting a scholarship or invited to play with a foreign-based club
Fantastic.
and stuff like that. So it was really, really a big deal.
Fantastic.
And it's something
This
we
is
do
good.
every year.
Wow. So this puts Antigua on the map, doesn't it?
It should be
in terms
putting
of
Antigua on the
sports.
map.
In terms of sports.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
So last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
First we had talked about fats,
We're gonna
about
check-
the good
see how
fats
much you
and bad
remember.
fats.
Yeah, we're gonna see how much you
Listen,
remember.
the good fats and bad fats episode way before. The episode after that we were at good, bad and ugly of carbs.
Right. Good.
And now this episode we're going to find out about protein. Is there a good, bad and ugly of protein? And if you are wondering if there is a good, bad and ugly, the only person who can tell us is Dr. Rick.
Exactly. So let's see. Let's test you. You know, we talked about protein before with respect to carbs and fats. Let's see what you remember. So remember what we said about having protein in your diet? Does it make you feel full or not? Remember, fats, carbohydrates, and protein. Which one, if you eat it, will make you feel hungry faster? In other words, where it really won't satisfy you very well.
I would think protein, because carbs I think would bloat you up.
No, it's actually just the opposite.
It does?
You didn't work. Okay, so what it is that when you eat carbohydrates, your stomach empties very rapidly. But when you eat fat and protein, remember we talked about that?
Yes.
It slows down the emptying of your stomach. So you feel fuller for longer. So it's more satisfying.
Yep,
So
that
that's
is true.
one advantage of having protein in your diet. So remember that. Now what about protein being turned into something else? Can protein be turned into carbohydrate, do you think?
I think it can.
You
can. Did mention that. I was here.
And when does that happen?
Come on, Dr. Rick. Come on,
Stress.
Dr. Rick.
When you're under stress.
Like how you're giving me stress right now
Exactly.
to remember? Yeah, I think my protein is turning into carbs.
Exactly, and your blood sugar is going up. Be careful, you're going to get diabetes.
I know.
You get diabetes just from talking to me.
Yep. But let me ask you a question. So, okay, the protein could make you get hungrier. You're saying it would not fill you up as much.
No, that's what the protein does. It slows down your stomach.
slows down your
so
stomach.
you feel satisfied for a longer
You
period
feel
of time.
satisfied for a longer period of time.
Fat too. Fat too. Fat actually more than protein, but about the same. But carbohydrate, when you eat carbohydrate, you get hungry real quickly.
So what about these diets that people say go on an all protein diet? What about diets like that?
Yeah.
What would it do to you? Is it a good thing to go on an all protein diet?
It is a good thing to go on an all protein diet, but we don't call it all protein.
Yeah.
Mostly
protein. Yeah.
And healthy fats. Remember the Atkins diet, they called it?
Yeah.
Protein and healthy fats. The problem with the Atkins diet is the fats were unhealthy. They didn't designate the kind of fat, so people were eating a lot of meat fats, a lot of meats, and fatty food from meats, which raised their blood lipids and gave them arteriosclerosis, hardening of the arteries, and plaque in the arteries, and coronary arteries, and all that. That's the problem. But the modified Atkins diet, where you're eating plant-based fats, like avocados and things like that, coconut oil, olive oil. Remember when we talked about the fats? But, so eating carbohydrate makes you hungry real quickly.
Right.
Eating fat and protein, so if you have some carbohydrate, you put fats and protein in with the diet, then your stomach will empty slower and you'll feel satiated. Do you know what satiated means?
No.
Did you ever feel satiated?
I think
satiety.
I might.
You feel, full for a longer period of time. You don't get hungry so quickly.
Okay, so it's a good balance to have your carbs and protein in a sitting, in a meal.
Yes.
Because then it would help you to stay fuller longer.
Yes, exactly. So now I asked you, can protein turn into carbs? And you answered correctly. I'm proud of you.
I try.
That's the body's stress response. So that's not good. It's good if you're in starvation, if you have a long period of fasting. What the body does, it breaks down your protein. And now where's all your protein in your body stored? We've said this before. Let's see what you remember.
We've said this before?
Where is it?
I cannot remember.
Where do you feel strong? What makes you strong?
Your muscles.
Your muscles. So all the protein in your body, most of the protein in your body is stored in your muscles.
Oh,
so
didn't know that.
So when your blood sugar goes down because you're not eating or you're under stress, part of the body's stress response, it breaks down your muscles and you feel weak. Tell me, did you ever go to bed for the weekend with a cold, flu, or something, and you wake up Monday morning and you can hardly get out of bed?
Yeah,
You're so weak.
because your muscles
Hardly
have taken
stand
a
up.
beating.
Your muscles have taken a beating. Your muscles got broken down to make sugar because you were under stress and you probably weren't eating very well.
How many of you guys knew that?
See?
Now that you think about the logical aspect of it, it makes a lot of sense. But that's why we love having Dr. Rick.
So that's why eating and having some sugar, healthy carbohydrates in your diet is good because it spares the protein.
Right.
Spares the protein, keeps you from breaking that protein down. Get it? Now let's ask another question. Can protein be turned into fat? If you take in too much protein and too many calories, can that turn into fat?
I would assume so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that can be turned into fat. Let's go the other way. Can fat be turned into protein? Can carbohydrate be turned into protein? So let's go backwards. That's a tough question.
That's a tough question.
Right? And we're hearing the audience is shaking their head and saying no. And
I think it could, because I think you mentioned that last time.
Listen, hold on. When you poll the audience, do you realize, did you ever see that game, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
And you poll the audience. What happens? Is the audience usually right or wrong? The audience is usually
right.
When you poll the audience. Well, I just polled the audience, and the audience was right and you were wrong. So who wants to be a doctor? Not you.
Not me. I'm striving to be a patient.
Exactly. So the audience was right. They said, no, it doesn't go the other way. The only way you can make protein in your body is by taking in protein in your diet. That's what's so important. So what about the kind of protein you should have? Let's say somebody in youth sports, athletics, they want to build their muscle, but their family are vegans. You know what a vegan is?
Yep.
What's a vegan? Tell me.
A vegan is someone who does not eat meat or milk, dairy, anything like that.
Okay. So are they going to be able to build enough protein and maintain their muscle to, let's say, withstand some intensive sports, be it youth or even adults, anybody who wants to build up, is it good to be a vegan then and take in protein from vegetables or plant sources?
I'm not quite certain, but you know what? You see, this is the thing, Dr. Vic. You know the internet, guys. The internet tells you all these different things.
Everything.
And the internet tells you that to get your proteins and your all your nutrients, it's better to get it from the plants because that was the original. And people think this is just the internet, guys. People think that I eat animals to get protein, but the animals eat the plants to get protein. And when they eat, let's say 100% of the plant to get 100% of protein, when we consume them, we do not get the 100% because they have already used up the protein. Plus we cook the meat and burn off, another large amount of protein.
I hear you. I hear
so
what you're saying.
it's mostly a little bit of protein and more of carcass, that kind of thing. So I would assume that we can get a lot of protein out of plants.
Yes, you can get protein out of plants, and if you're very sedentary, you can get enough protein out of plants to kind of maintain whatever muscle you have, but not build it.
Not to build.
No, not to build it. So people who are vegans, they're missing what we call essential amino acids. Out of 20 amino acids that make up all the proteins of our body, only 9 of them are essential.
Wow.
You know what essential means?
Important.
We can't.
Yeah, we can't.
Not important. We can't make it in our body. So that means out of the 20 amino acids that make up our proteins, 11 of them we can make within the body. But 9 of them we have to take in our diet. That's what essential means.
But how do we know? That's an important thing.
Yeah.
Because now we need to be educated as to what those are.
Exactly.
Because we might think that what we're consuming are giving us these 11, these 9, and it may not be.
Exactly.
So our bodies might be in a deficit.
Well, the plant sources are usually missing many of those 9.
Oh, okay.
But the most important for building muscle, if you're an athlete, is one called leucine, Leucine. Now, that's one of 3 amino acids called branched chain amino acids.
Okay.
And they're good for building muscle. Leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Those are the ones that build muscle. And leucine is the most important. So where do we get the most leucine? Eggs. So some people who eat vegetables, they eat eggs too, but a pure vegan doesn't even eat eggs.
Doesn't eat eggs, yeah.
Eggs. Whey, you heard of whey?
Yep.
From a dairy source of protein, you get those in supplements. And meat. And when I say meat, I include fish too.
Okay.
Meat and fish, right? Good sources, they have all the amino acids to build protein. They're not missing any. And they have a lot of what? Starts with an L? Leucine. And the branched chain amino acids that build those muscles. So that's the problem. That's the problem. So if you're an athlete, if you're a parent of an athlete, right, and they want to build muscle, okay, they work out in the gym, they go and do their sports, but they have to get that protein.
Yeah.
And they have to get the protein in those sources, either whey, eggs, or meat or fish.
To get that leucine.
That's right, to get that leucine.
Is carbs important for building muscle as well?
No, not really. No,
Okay.
It's protein. It's protein.
But you know what? I think there's a need then, because you're opening up a whole Pandora's box right now for me, and I'm sure for our guests. There's a need for education as to these things, as what we really need. Because a lot of times you find someone, you might be going to the gym every day and you're doing this, and you think, I'm eating my rice and my grilled chicken alone, and my broccoli and my this, and it may not be sufficient because you may not be getting the growth that you're looking for because you don't have all the essentials that provide the leucine.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right.
So where do we have to find a way to get that information.
Yeah.
So tell me let's dumb it down. Let's dumb it down for the viewers here. Where we can find leucine.
We've already dumbed it down for you.
You dumbed it down for
If
me,
we were
so
talking
I'm
to
going to
the
dumb it down
viewers-
further.
No, if we're talking to the viewers, we got to smarten it up a little bit.
Give them the basic as to where we can get a good source of leucine? Like,
Yeah, eggs. I said
eggs, whey,
dairy,
fish.
dairy, protein, like in whey. So if you want to take a supplement, you have a choice. Some supplements have casein. Casein is milk protein. But whey protein is actually better because it has more of these branched chain amino acids. More of the branched chain amino acids.
Okay.
Get it?
So where does chicken breast stack up on this list?
Oh, very, very high. Poultry, meat, fish, they're very similar. And what they do is they are also very digestible. That's
Okay.
another important thing. Here's an interesting thing about plant protein. When you take in a lot of plant protein, there's more fiber with it. Well, we think fiber is good.
It's not?
Yeah, it's good, except when you take fiber in with protein, it cuts down on how much of that protein gets absorbed, how much of those amino acids that are the building blocks of the protein get absorbed into your blood. So there's less available to you.
Because the
so
fiber...
it's not very digestible.
But the fiber makes you get rid of
That's
stuff
right.
faster.
That's correct. So you don't absorb as much of the protein. That's another downside from the plant protein.
Wow.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
And the ugly.
And the ugly is, of course, a person with kidney disease. Children or adults shouldn't take in too much protein. But normal people can take on as much protein as they want. But people with kidney disease, it seems to be detrimental.
And like Dr. Vic said on the last episode, you want your protein, so you want to have your meats and stuff like that if you want to not only just build muscle, but to get energy and so forth. But don't incorporate the fats. There are fats that are within the meat, but take out the visual fats.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The visual fats,
lean meats.
take
lean
it out.
meats.
So, we're in
And,
the Caribbean.
and get your fats from the plant sources.
Yes, get your fats
avocados and not coconut. Yeah, coconut oil and olive oil, that kind of thing.
Because in the Caribbean, we eat a lot of chicken. We eat, let's say, oxtail and stuff like that. So there's a lot of times you have the fats around.
I love oxtail.
Love it. So, but get the fats off.
Yes.
Focus on the meat.
Yes.
You're going to find fats in there, but at least it's not going to be, saturated fats. And trans fats and so forth.
You remember
like
from last time.
Hey,
Good.
listen to me.
Excellent.
I'm always on the pulse.
Excellent.
Dr. Rick has me on the pulse. You know what I mean? So that's the important thing.
Yeah.
It's the healthy eating is not an easy thing, Dr. Rick. Even if I think you're so in tune with it and you know everything, I think one of the main problems is availability.
Yes.
Availability to have all these things, and I'm sure you all can agree with this, the availability to have the things that is necessary to be healthy and eat healthy. And that's why sometimes, as human beings as we are, we say, oh, well, just this once, or just this time, or they didn't have the meat without all the fat,
Yes.
or they didn't have all the plants, the vegetables that we think we would need, so we'll just eat more carbs and carbs and protein. But the balance is necessary. Carbs and fats.
But remember, protein is also the most expensive part of the diet.
Yeah, yeah.
So people who don't have extra funds available, they cut back on the protein first.
Yeah.
So we have to think about that.
But this may not be a part of the whole protein discussion. But what you said there is a very important thing that I talk about all the time. But that's it. So it's knowing. We love having the information that you put us, and to be honest with you, sometimes the information it's so great, but it's more stressful because now we have to know that what we've been doing before was not always right, and now we have to change, but then the change is not that easy because it's more expensive, it's not readily available, but you know what I mean.
And you have to change your behavior.
And you have to change your
Change your behavior.
So it
and
doesn't matter.
Your mindset.
Which is the biggest thing. So it doesn't matter if we don't have it or if we can't afford it. The fact is that we know it.
Yes.
And if we know it, we can try to change it. So until next time,
Excellent.
Dr. Rick, GN Sports Show. Keep healthy until we see you again.
Sports Show. Interviews, insights, dreams taking flight. We show them how to handle the spotlight, preparing them for the journey ahead, building confidence, the words left unsaid. From the grassroots national scene. Young athletes chasing every dream. In every game there's a story to tell. GN Sports Show, we know them well. GN Sports, where the youth lead the way. Champions of tomorrow making waves today. From ages 5 and up we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. Show. Interviews where the youth lead the way. Champions of tomorrow making waves today. From ages 5 and up we help them grow. It's their time to shine on the GN Sports Show. GN Sports